Welcome to the Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to the Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
Kill her.
You scared me, woman.
I came to make sure that you were comfortable. But let me tell you, bogies is all sorts and kinds of things.
Sure.
Rats and mice, and beetles, and creaky doors, and broken panes, and stiff drawer handles. Rats is bogies, I tell you. And bogies is rats. And don't you get to kill her.
Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest today is a lady who is well known in this industry around the world. Nobody is this extremely versatile character actress, has starred in over 30 television shows with a total of over 108 IMDb actress credits. Wow. She's a director, a writer, a producer, and a true filmmaker. She also puts out some clothing too, okay? She's a celebrity booking coach, success creator, and author of the Lundon technique, the 15 guideline map to booking, which has helped, ladies and gentlemen, thousands of actors achieve their dream of success in the entertainment industry. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Amy Lundon. Amy, thank you. Glad to have you here. My goodness, you're looking good today. Welcome to the Actor's Choice. We are very, very proud to have you here today. First of all, I see 108 thereabouts actress credits.
Yes.
And I say to myself,
Ron, you spelled my name wrong.
who spelled your name wrong? Who did? That's Lyn.
I don't know who did that.
I don't know who did that either.
Sounds like they're gonna get fired.
Get fired, that sucker. Yeah, that's Lun. That's Lyndon. Okay. He'll straighten it out in just a minute. The 108 active credits that you have, that I think to myself, that's the same number of auditions.
Well, you look at that.
He changed it, by the way.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you. Wow, you got a team they're on it.
Oh, they're all. Tony's he's the baddest guy we got. He's bad on bad.
Yeah, but I mean, think about how many shows you've done. You know, how many shows have you done?
About 278.
That's unbelievable. Yeah. That's impressive. That's just impressive. And I can't believe it's taken me this long to see you finally. You know.
Yes.
You know, I should have seen you like 230 people ago.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. There's always something going on in your life, my life, and
I didn't know you. It's because of Reem Gatum that told me about you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on your show.
My pleasure indeed. But like I said, I understand that you're from New Rochelle, New York.
That's right.
Get out of here. That's your home. Look at that. There's a picture of it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I graduated with 1,000 people. So my school was obviously a public school,
right.
But it was very, very big. It had 2 huge lakes in front of it. We used to ice skate on the lakes. Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Everybody used to be smoking pot in those days. So
I didn't hear that.
No. Everybody's like, okay, I'll help you get to class. No, I'll help you get to class. You know, I mean, I don't do that anymore. But back in the day, you know. I mean, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. And New Rochelle is a beautiful place to grow up.
Yeah. I grew up in New York City myself.
Oh, New York City. Where in New York City?
Harlem.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's beautiful right now, Harlem.
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed.
Gorgeous.
Yes, indeed.
Gorgeous.
Now, I understand that you wanted to be an actress since the age of 10?
Yeah, I used to write my name on I'm going to sound like I'm a really bad kid. I used to write my name in the bathroom walls. I literally, because you know how everybody wrote their stuff on the bathroom walls?
Yes.
Especially in high school. And it would be like Amy Lynn with an E. And I had different names that I would change over and over. And I mean, besides going Amy and Ricky, and then you cross it out and you write Tony, and then you cross it out and you write Joe, and you cross it out and you're like you remember back in the day, you know, you could go through people like really quickly and not even think about it. As an adult, you break up with somebody, you're like, oh God, I need to call a therapist, you know? Like, why can't everything just be like high school? Where you're like, oh, you know what? It didn't work out. Let's move on, you know? But, you know, everything gets, I don't know how I got off on this tangent. But anyway, yes, I wanted to be an actress since I'm 10 years old. I've been acting since I'm 10.
And look what happened. You did a lot of training too, didn't you?
I trained with Stella Adler herself.
Stella Adler, yes.
Yep, I trained with Harry Master George. Ray Liotta told me about Harry. Harry Master George was the best thing that I ever done, you know?
Yes.
I trained with like a ridiculous amount of people. I trained Shakespeare in London at the Performing Arts Center there at the university. And then I came out with a Bachelor of Fine Arts from Syracuse University. And yeah, I went to the neighborhood playhouse in New York City when I was 16. I would jump on a train to study, and Meisner was upstairs. I was downstairs in the junior school, but Sanford Meisner was there at the time.
Look what you got. Look at what you got out of all that training. My goodness. 1983, you got your first IMDb actress credit with the role of Eve in the drama film A Night in Heaven. Remember that?
Well, yeah, of course I remember that, because I was in a scene with Andy Garcia. And Andy and I
Andy Garcia.
I was studying him while he was studying plays.
Yes.
Because I really looked up to him, you know, and I was like, I had just graduated, and I was just like, right arm. So I got all of his close-ups because he was my bartender, so he would have to pour, and he couldn't pour. He had to pour with his left instead of his right because he broke his right arm. So he was on set all week. And
okay. Now you've done, since that time, you've done a lot of stuff. You on what? Days of Our Lives, NCIS, Signed in Blood, NYPD Blue, many roles you had. Fast forward to the year 2000, and you had a drama film called Odessa, which you were the actress, writer, director, and producer.
You know who that is?
No, who is that?
Dr. King's daughter.
That's right. You did. That's right. Yeah, you look. Yes.
Doesn't she look like
one that passed away? I did an interview with her. She's gone now. She's the King's daughter.
I know. She was brilliant to work with. That movie really was amazing, unlike everybody else out there on the streets.
Gotcha. Okay. Now you've got 19 director credits. We got a chance here to see one of your 19 credits. Roll it, Tony.
Coucou chérie, tout va bien? Non, ça ne va pas du tout. Bah, qu'est-ce qui se passe? J'en ai marre, maman. J'en ai marre de tout. Oh, yeah, right there, Jim. Oh, that's so good. Oh. 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 That's so good. Oh. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Hein? Quoi? Rien. Alors, dis-moi, de quoi en as-tu marre? Coucou.
Interesting. Yeah. Nice being a director. Now, you told me you have a clothing line. Can we take a moment and talk about that, please?
You know, one of the biggest reasons why my actors have a problem booking, it's not because they're not talented. Because I'm a booking coach. So it's not because they're not talented, Mark, I Am Enough. And then during COVID, I finally launched the brand. So it's called I Am Enough Collection. And all to remind you, it's, you know, wear your mantra, just to continually remind you that you are nothing to contribute.
Got you. Speaking of doing that, you've had a good year this year. You had 2 roles, including 7 episodes of a podcast.
I'm Nova in podcast series, and it's starting to happen very frequently. Yeah, so they're trying to, because it's becoming the new thing. It's like a TV show, but on the radio.
Got you. Okay. Now, I understand you completely lady. You're busy. What can you tell us about some of those films, the new films you got coming out?
One is called this Jewish woman who really is obnoxious, and she both become zombies after they've renewed their vows. So anyway, that's that during the zombie apocalypse. And we follow their stories, and it's a comedy.
In the pandemic, all this good stuff. A lot of people, a lot of things, as you know, a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
To teach folks how to be an actor. Roller, Tony.
You guys, I am ins and outs of the entertainment business. You're going to learn about casting directors, about agents, about managers, about really excited.
Marvelous, 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 marvelous.
No, you really do your research.
You have to. When you deal with a classy lady like you, oh no, can't be half-stepping in here.
Look at you. I have just about 53 network series regulars, and a couple that are on right now. You know, they did 10 years of it, and now they just resurrected it, so it's coming out again, new episodes. But I mean, he was in class when he helps actors break down a script and tell the best story according to the writer's intent.
I want to be an actor. I want me. I want to be an actor. How can I go through your school? How can I get in touch with you? What do I have to do?
Well, I gotta put you through the mill. You gotta go through the program before you get to me. No, I'm just kidding. You gotta go through this person, this person, this person. I hate when acting schools do that. You gotta go through like 5 people before you get to the main person. I'm extremely hands-on. It's very important to me that I teach the student from where they are at. So you would go to the LundonTechnique.com, and if you follow me on Instagram at Amy Lundon and DM me all of the people from your show, I will send them a promo code for an online course that they can do from their home. Intensive, and everything's on Zoom. Yeah. And I have books. I have audiobooks on Amazon.
How are they coming so far?
They're going. They're not coming. They're going. I wrote my first book in 2009. I had the outline. Then I went to Vegas, and so I went to Vegas and I rode for 8 hours, gambled for 8 hours, and slept for 8 hours. Wow. That's 24, right? Yeah. So
My dear, we're out of time, unfortunately. I want to thank you very much.
No, there's so much to talk about.
Oh, I know, 17 minutes goes by like that. I want to thank a dear friend of yours. Thank you.
Yeah, we love her.
Thank you. Bless you in what you're doing. Continued success.
Thank you so much for your kindness and for having me on your show.
My pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Amy, thank you very much. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. We would like to let now Kurt, who passed away January 20th, 1997, he was the husband of one of our wonderful guests, renowned actress Judy Pace. Now, all you got to do is go to our Facebook page or call our office at 213-349-3941. It's 213-349-3941. We sincerely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this magnificent award for a great baseball player. Roll it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, got a question for you. Have you ever wanted to get on the stage and dance the dance called ballet? Well, guess what, folks? My next guest today is the person you need to talk to. This gentleman, he's a performer, a choreographer, a teacher. His musical credits include Cinderella, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, My Fair Lady, and many, many, many more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Milliken. Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Good. How about you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, wouldn't have it any other way. Welcome to the Actor's Choice. What that was a great video. Was that you up there?
That was me. If you like it, was me.
Oh man, you make it look so easy. My goodness. I love it when the gentlemen have what they call the tights on, them tights.
That's right. It's a love-hate relationship.
Oh my goodness, I love it when I see it. Where were you born at, sir?
Well, sorry, what was that?
Where were you born at?
I was born in Upland, California. But I'm a Southern California guy. So now I was born in Upland, lived in Ontario, moved out to the Banning area, Redlands, Banning. So I've kind of just been all here in the Southern California.
Okay, and now where are you a resident of?
I'm actually a resident of Banning,
California.
Okay. Yeah,
okay.
South Florida, Palm Springs.
Okay, I was told differently. I was told that you were someplace else, but that's okay. We'll go along with it. No problem at all. You do stay in the area. I have to give you that.
Yep.
If you would, sir, take us back to when you first got into what you do. How did you get into it?
Well, actually, it's kind of funny. I started as a singer. I liked to sing when I was a kid, and so I was in choir and stuff. And then I just auditioned for my local community theater, and I got into musical theater, and I really loved it. And then it just kind of happened. You know, my mom was like, "Oh, if you want to be good in musical theater, you should dance." And at the time, I knew my mom had danced. She was a ballet dancer, but that was before I was born, and so I wasn't really exposed to it at all. And then it just kind of one thing led to another. So I did musical theater, and then I started taking classes, and I loved ballet, and so I ended up doing ballet and tap and jazz and kind of the whole thing, and got really into that. So I still love musical theater and I still sing and all that stuff, but dance became one of my primary focuses as well from that. So now I do musical theater and tap musical theater ballet are kind of my wheelhouse. So
as I look at your resume, you got a whole bunch of credentials. Where'd you get all that training at?
Oh, thanks. It kind of went all over the place. So once I took a whole bunch of studios. So I trained at different studios and everything, and then went to RCC for a little while. And then I did some online credentialing certifications and got my master's and stuff. And then I trained a lot at Inland Pacific Ballet, which is, they have an academy and they also have the company. So I trained with their academy, and then I eventually started dancing, and I've danced for many years with their professional company. And now I also teach for their academy as well. So kind of full circle. I'm still over there, which is great.
Michael, you're something else. Let's take a moment and talk about what about ballet? Where did ballet start at? Where did it come from?
That's a great question. So it's about, I'm just going to estimate about 500 years old. Technically came from Italy, but pretty quickly, I think it was through, if I could get some of the facts a little bit wrong here, but I believe it was through marriage. Some princess from Italy or something married somebody in France, and it came into the court of France. And so it was originally a court dance, and then through the years, it just kind of developed. How it was 500 years ago is nothing like what it is now. But through the years, they eventually, it was very chivalrous, so it was very clear, guys and girls and all that stuff. And so the girls, the goal was to be very ethereal. And so as time went on, they kind of started going up on their toes a little bit. And then they eventually got shoes to make it more possible to stay up there longer. And now they're doing, they do crazy things, multiple turns on points and all that stuff. So it's just come a long way. And the jumps, even if you look at 100 years ago, what ballet dancers did to what they do now, it continues just like most other sports. I mean, if you look at gymnastics or anything else, what they're doing now versus what they did 100 years ago, it seems impossible. And kind of the same thing in ballet, where it's the principles and the concepts and a lot of music and everything stayed the same, but the art form is still growing and building just as people become more capable of things and discover new ways of doing things. It's pretty crazy.
There is a spirit in dancing ballet. Please tell us about it.
Yeah, it's, for me, and everybody has kind of their different reasonings for like what kind of makes ballet the thing. For me, I love the structure and the order to ballet. Everything there's a specific way it's supposed to be done. There's a specific technique behind it. There's a placement. There's not like, I wonder what I'm supposed to do here. No, I know what I'm supposed to do here. Whether I can do it or not is a whole different question. So it's just, to me, it's so challenging because it's not some arbitrary like, oh, you do this and yay, it razzle dazzle. It really is about, this is the way it's done, and you do your best to aim at that. And And so there's such a high goal. There's such a high goal for it, and so you just have to strive toward. So for me, it just is a constant, like trying to be better and trying to better yourself and to become more successful at it. And it just, to me, it's ballet is such an elegant, it's like old and yet fresh and new. Like you just go to class, and class has a structure. You have this, you start with pliés and you go all the way through to Grand Allegro. But when you go in there to do pliés, it's just like you're back to square one. You're right there, you're working on it. And it doesn't matter where you get to, you're always still working at it. You always start with your pliés. So it's this interesting thing of being like so old and so like traditional, and yet every time it's like brand new. So it's just, I don't know. I love it. It's great.
I love the way you said it. I can see it. I can see the sparkle in your eye about how you love it. Staying in excellent physical shape is a must for ballet dancer. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Can't get out of it.
Absolutely. Nope. There's no shortcuts around it. In fact, the older I get, the more important it becomes. I can't just bust it out anymore like I used to.
Really? I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but what are the ages that you have seen people still dancing?
Oh, well, and it just depends. It all depends on what you classify dancing. You'll see, a lot of older ballet dancers will retire, but they'll move into character roles. So they'll move into roles that aren't as physically demanding. As a guy, sometimes, we'll do less jumping and less impact work, but we'll still do more lifting and partnering stuff, which is it's still physically demanding, but it's not quite as demanding as on the joints as the landing. But it just depends. I mean, you'll see there are some famous ballerinas that have gone close to their 50s. I mean,
Wow.
As principal dancers. I mean, it's rare, very, very rare, but I mean, it does happen. But, I would say generally, if you go into your 30s, pushing 40, I mean, that's a pretty solid career right there. But there are many other options. Again, you can go into character roles. You can go into then working with, become a ballet master or mistress and work with upcoming dancers and choreography and stuff. And it just depends on the size of the company. Smaller companies, you can usually go longer. Big companies, they're going to be more likely to be, you're in your 30s. What are you doing here? So it just depends on that. But especially nowadays, there's so many more opportunities for dancers as it was, even back 50 years ago or so. Even my mom, was a dancer, and she talks about how like there was only a few companies at the time that you really went for, and otherwise you were kind of not successful as a dancer per se. So anyway. Yeah.
So your mother's in it, as we say back where I come from, it's in the blood.
Yes.
In the blood. You've been teaching, as I noted here, in the Inland Empire and surrounding areas for over 15 years, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, God, that's good.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah. There's what they call the Lifehouse Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's going to put there's a picture. Thank you, Tony. That's the outside view of that. Tell us about that structure right there. What goes on in there? Yeah,
so that's actually the theater I started at. That's where my journey started, and it's a long story, but basically I did a show there, and then I started taking some classes there, and I ended up going other places and taking classes, and eventually I ended up kind of taking over / inheriting a program that I ended up running that eventually made its way back to the theater. So now I work with that theater, and I have my own program there. That's Milligan Productions, and we have a musical theater program for recreational, a musical theater program for kids, teens, anywhere from ages 6 to 18 over there. We also have a dance program for people of all ages that we have over at the theater. So that's really cool because for me, it's a full circle. I started there, and now I'm back training kids there as well. And then I'm also now the artistic director over there, so I give them feedback on kind of the artistic, how the show's looking, and making sure that everything stays true to the theater's vision and all that stuff. So I come in and help them out with their techniques as well. So I work with the theater, and then I also have my own program there as well.
It's an inside view of the theater.
Was that? Sorry.
Tony's put up an inside view of the theater.
Yes. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. It's a beautiful theater.
Nice little place you got there. Nice little place.
That's great.
Now, we have a photo of you and your brother, Aaron, dancing together.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Look at there you go. There you go. There you on the right. That's him on the left. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's the guy with the big beard. He's actually younger. He's younger than me, but I like to think he looks older with his beard.
Yeah, it's okay. He looks good. He looks good. And here's another one, a picture of a beautiful lady who is also dances and teaches with you, your wife, Kelsey.
She is cute. Cute lady.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So she helps me out over there at the theater. She's awesome. She helps me out, and she teaches with me. And then Aaron also, he teaches the dance classes for me over at the theater. So he specializes in tap and musical theater. So he does some tap and musical theater classes over there. But they're great. They're awesome. Of course, I'm biased, but they're awesome people. Especially that cute lady right there, man.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. If you had anything, remember, you got to get home tonight. Remember that. Obviously, you're doing well there at what you're doing, but there is a need for monetary support. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, I mean, there always is, pretty much in the arts. You know, things for the arts have gotten, you know, pretty hard. Even prior to COVID, you know, demographics have been changing for a long time. So, you know, it used to be that theaters would sell out more, but even prior to COVID, people were starting to realize that, you know, I have Netflix now, and I can, you know, I don't necessarily want to drive, you know, to the theater and park and go in and stuff like that. So attendance had already, what I'd seen, theater attendance had already been dropping. So somewhat. So which is sad. So pretty much any of the arts, but both of those places that you mentioned that I work for, both IPB and then Lifehouse as well. Anything, basically, ticket sales is not close to enough to cover the actual costs of the actual, you know, programs. And then even like, you know, my program, you know, the teaching program for the kids, you know, there are always kids that just can't afford, you know, to go in the programs. There's a scholarship. And so there's always a need there for pretty much in all three of those art situations, but it's not just us. I mean, it's arts across the board, that the financial need is always there. And ticket sales, even for years, have in a theater setting have not been enough to cover. I don't know of a single theater, non-profit organization that is like, oh yeah, we sell tickets. That's all we need to do. We're good to go. You know, there's always the fundraising and the pushing for finances and stuff. And it's just become even more, you know, with the whole COVID thing. You know, some theaters I know with the COVID relief that's helped them out temporarily, but I am afraid that we're going to see, not necessarily, you know, IPB and Lifehouse, but I am afraid we're going to see more arts locations closing once we see, you know, because there has been stimulus package and stuff like that have come through that have helped businesses kind of stay afloat. But once the momentum catches up, where, you know, attendance is lower and people aren't coming through, and then that's where I am concerned for arts organizations. So if anybody ever feels led to give, to, obviously I'm pushing, you know, IPB and Lifehouse, we would really appreciate it. But just give to your local arts organizations, because I'm predicting that in about 4 to 6 months, we're going to start seeing some arts organizations are going to start having a shaky footing at that point. So that's what I would really encourage people, especially coming to the end of the year with your tax donations.
Yes.
So,
is there a telephone number or an email or something like that people can get in touch with you?
Oh yeah. So my email address is milliganproductions@gmail.com. So that's Milligan Productions, that's plural, @gmail.com. And then I can send information because I work with both organizations, and I have a great relationship with both, and it's not, they get along great, and they're pretty far apart, so it's not a conflict of anything. So you can always email me and I can get more information. You can also go to ipballet.org for information directly from them, or you can go to lifehousetheater.com and get information from there. And if you want to go to my website, it's milliganproductions.com.
Okay.
There's lots of ways to get a hold of us.
Got a couple of pictures of past performers. Tony, can you run the first couple that we have? Let's see. That one is Moses.
Mm-hmm.
That was one you did.
Yeah.
The next one you did was Phantom of the Opera.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff you had in there. Then you did back in February of 2017, you did Peter Pan.
Yeah. Yep. And the cool thing about Lifehouse, they write most of their productions are original, so they write their own productions.
Yeah. So
it's their own take on a lot of classic stories, which is really fun.
You got one more, A Song in My Heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
That's a fun one, yeah.
What I love to see is people up on a stage. I have a bone to pick with a lot of actors and actresses here in Hollywood. I see them all the time. They want to be in the television, they want to be in the film, but they don't want to get up on that stage. We thank you for what you do. Again, thank you for being with us today, Michael. I want to thank your publicist, Susan D. Gordon. Continued success in what you do.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm Ron Brewington. My next guest today is a breakthrough artist and a new face of multicultural Hollywood. Now she's becoming one of the hottest up and coming young actors. Okay? If you would please welcome Ameri Fake. Greetings, Ameri. Ameri, did she contact us yet? There you are. Okay. Welcome to the Actors Choice. You're looking good today. I want to thank the people who set this up for you, and I'm really happy to have you here today. Now, you're one of Hollywood's hottest up and coming young actors who do realize that. Do you realize what you get into that? You want to act. You want to get into it. Tell us about that.
I feel like I've always wanted to do like acting ever since I was younger, and like I just see people on TV and I'm like, I want to do that. Like I could do it if I really like put my mind to it. And so like now that it's actually happening, it kind of feels surreal.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. For me, I'm not an actor, but what I admire about actors the most is that you have to memorize those scripts.
Oh yeah.
Can't get away from that.
No, it's like, honestly, it really depends on the scripts. Like the lines, like once you've been doing acting for a while, you get used to it and you develop like techniques and like tactics to like get your lines down really easily, and you pick up on certain things like when they want you to change your mood and emotions. And like it is like at first like it was really difficult for me to like understand like, oh, I need to like, what is this part? Like, what do I need to do here? But now that I've been doing it for so long, I really understand like, oh, this is where I need to like, my character needs to be serious and like I need to laugh or something. Like I understand a lot better than I used to. It takes time for that.
Yes, it does take time, and I admire you totally for what you do and how you do it. Have you ever thought about doing any Shakespeare training, by the way? Have you ever thought about that?
No.
Okay. Because a lot of people that get in this business, to be or not to be, that's what it's all about, learning those scripts. It's an amazing thing. Who are some of your acting role models? Who are some of those people?
Well, when I started watching like TV when I was younger, I would see like this show called Casey Undercover, and I would see Zendaya on it, and I would always see her, and like the way she acts, like they had like these funny lines, and I would always be like laughing at her shows, and like I always like kind of like looked up to her, she's so beautiful, and like just seeing her, she's such a good actress, and like now like like she's still like doing very well, like she's just a really good actress.
That's beautiful. Anybody else? How about the male side? You got any guys you like?
Not too many, no.
Okay. All right. Do you see yourself in the future, maybe just maybe, as a director?
I feel like I could if I really did. Like I would want to. I would want to direct. I feel like I could do it, especially like giving people directions and like showing them what to do. And since like I am like an actress now, I feel like in the future I would understand from their point of view too, rather than just like being a director.
Gotcha. So saying that, where do you see yourself in Hollywood?
In Hollywood, I see myself like I want to be in like a good movie or a good show like that lasts for a long time, where that gets like a lot of like a good fan base that like keeps it like strong.
Right. Of course, as a Latino, you have a good opportunities there for yourself.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite movies? You go to the movies that often?
My favorite movie. Now that's a little hard, but
okay.
I do like have a good show. a lot of like teenagers, they watch this show, which is Stranger Things. And actress that I really love there is Millie Bobby Brown. She's a great actress. And like the emotion that she puts into her character, like you could tell she's a really hard worker. She like knows all her lines so well, and she's such a good actress. Like that's a show I really enjoy because of how good all their acting is. And like since they've been doing it like from a young age, like all these years, like you just see how much better they're getting. But like they were always really good at acting in that show.
Ameri, as I hear you speaking, I'm saying to myself, this lady got the right attitude. Your attitude will definitely depend on how far your attitude and altitude are one together. Good attitude will give you good altitude. I wish you well in what you're doing. When you go out on call, audition call, and you meet other young ladies for roles your age, what do you guys talk about?
So when I'm usually in my, like if I'm in an acting class with older girls, we kind of like we correct each other. We kind of show like, oh, you know, like you can, like you see this, like this is like something you could pick up on, especially like with the teachers, like the teachers are correcting us and they put us together in scenes. So we're kind of like hearing both of us acting, like we're both hearing different sides since we're listening to both of us. And so it kind of helps us learn from the other person. Like we hear what they're saying, we also hear how we do it.
Wow. An earlier guest on the show today, she has 108 actor credits. So that took her a long time to get that. So I can see you in the future getting 108. I see it. I can see the ball. I can see it happening. And speaking of which, talk about how your family and friends, I know they're very proud of you, but talk about what's it like with the family and friends supporting you in what you're doing.
Honestly, it makes me so happy, like especially when I get to tell them like, hey, like I just did an audition and I think I did good, like, and like just to see like the way they light up and they're like, oh, I'm so proud of you, like I hope you get it and I wish you good luck. Like having them like support me is really important, because if I didn't have such a good support system, I definitely wouldn't be like where I am now, because I wouldn't be as like, oh, like I would feel like I was doing something wrong if I didn't have everyone support me. So it's good that I have family and friends that are so happy for me, because it makes me feel that I can be more happy for myself.
That young lady, this is your mother we're talking about, your father, your brothers, sisters? All right. What do you do when you're not acting? What do you do?
Oh, I spend a lot of time with my friends, and it helps me a lot just to hang out with them, because of COVID, I didn't get to see them a lot. So now I've become really close with them and I enjoy hanging out with them a lot. It makes me feel like I could be myself and like just take a break from everything and just like, you know, let loose and just have fun with them. It's really like, I enjoy it so much.
Do some of the people that you hang out with, do they ever ask you for advice on? They might say, hey, I think I want to do what she's doing. That's a good feel. What advice would you give them?
I would tell them that it's really hard to like, you know, to keep your head up, but like you have to keep on trying. If you give up, then you're really not going to get to where you want to go. Because if I have given up before, then I would have never been here where I am right now. Right. And I know that I can see myself in the future getting like better roles. So I know like I need to stay strong, and I just feel like they need to stay strong as much as I do. So if they really want to do this, if they really wanted to, they could.
Got you. What roles do you like to do?
So far I have gotten like a commercial and I enjoyed it a lot. They were really nice to me, and they had like really good food, so I enjoyed it a lot. But I really want to be in a TV show, like a serious one, like not like, because when I was younger I would want mostly like Disney, but now I feel like I'm ready for a serious role, and like that's what I really look forward to doing, is having a serious role where I can like use my skills as much as I can to make like myself like portray the acting that I need to do, like give my character what it needs.
Got you. Now you were in a movie. You had a small role. No es justo.
That's a music video. Yes.
Yes. This is and you met the gentleman named J Balvin.
Yes, I actually was so excited.
That guy right there. There he is. Yeah.
Yes, because I've always like I listened to him, you know, as he's a Latina, like, he's a Latino, and so I listened to his music, and I would always dance to it. I had dance, and so we had a dance to him, and we performed it like at my school. So it was fun meeting him because I'm like, I danced to you, and he's like, thank you, and like saying thank you made me feel like really happy that he's actually thanking me for just dancing to his music.
You know, it's a wonderful thing about this industry. You find out that these people who you put on platforms, they're human beings just like you.
Yeah, it feels like crazy.
Huh?
Yeah.
Say it again.
It's like when you meet them, you never thought, like, you never would think, like, you just are gonna meet these people that you've looked up to or you wanted to meet for so long. So meeting them is definitely a crazy experience.
I see another job that you had. You worked on the TV series, The Big Fib.
Yes.
Yeah, there you are. Yes. Wow. Tell us about that experience, please.
That one, I really enjoyed it. It was very fun to work with the cast. I actually, because I had to run through the lines before, everyone, before they actually did it in front of the audience. Yeah. So I would run through them before like the kids got there. It was really fun because I got to talk to the people. I got to talk to there was like a robot character there, and he's like one of the hosts, and so I got to talk to him, and he was so nice, and so was everybody else. Like they all treated me like, and more like a worker, like, and it made me really happy that they gave me respect that, like that I was a part of like the team.
Yes. When you say give me that respect, that's what it's all about. Definitely. Now, I understand that you did a recent audition with a lady named Jennifer Lopez.
Yes.
That lady? She's a beautiful lady, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
She is. Yes. To work with her, but that'd be a good pleasure. What kind of how did it turn out the audition? How did it work out?
Unfortunately, I didn't get the part, but just having that audition, that was like so crazy to me that I was like, I had a chance to work with her. I could have worked with J-Lo. So I was like so surprised.
No, she's been around a long time. She's done a lot for one of my favorite roles that she did was Selena. And did you see that movie?
I don't think I saw the movie.
Okay.
I saw the show.
Yeah. Great movie about a young lady. She started doing a lot of music, Hispanic music, and really went well. Unfortunately, she was killed. But she was a great actress, and Lopez had a chance to do her. We call those biopics. You get a chance maybe in your career. I'm sure that you would look forward to doing a biopic maybe.
I think
somebody famous.
I would. Okay. I feel like it would be good to like portray somebody else and see how well I could really like put them on the screen and show everybody how they were.
Gotcha. You like to do some modeling, I understand.
Yes.
What is it about modeling that you like?
I like about modeling is like when you like maybe go to where like if you got a store and you're like you see yourself and you're like, that's me, like I can't believe I'm actually up here. Like everybody, like none of these people really know who I am. They just see my picture here constantly, but like I know that's me. Like it probably make you feel really accomplished just to see yourself.
I see you did a music video with a group called Boom Shakalaka.
Yes, it was really fun doing that. I got to take pictures with like, all the people there, and they were really nice. And I actually got to talk to one of them, and he made sure like that I was included. It was really nice. Yes.
I asked you earlier about the different roles that you like to get because you do have a choice of what it is that you want. Are there some scripts that you will take? I know it's a little early in your career, but there's some roles you look at, you might say, I don't want to do that. You have that choice.
Well, sometimes I do feel like discouraged, like depending on what it is. I'm like, like obviously I'd be honored to get this, but it's definitely not like my dream role. But to be honest, like any role would be good for me at this point.
Yes. Wow. One of the things that I know, I've seen a lot of young actors, male and female, getting roles and enjoying the roles. I like what you said earlier when you said, and they fed me. I love that. I always ask people a question when you're on the set, where's your favorite hangout beside in front of the camera? And they always say, well, they feed us very well out here. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the assets of being in this business. Well, like I said, when you get out there, do you bring your parents to some of these auditions that you go to?
My mom, she always is like with me. and it helps to have like somebody from home with you,
Yes.
definitely like calm your nerves. I really like it. Makes me happy that she's always with me by my side.
Yes.
Definitely gives me reassurance that she's there and I'm not alone.
Would you please take a moment and mention her name? Let people know who she is. Your mother.
My mom, she's like the whole reason
All right, that's it. That's it. The whole reason. She's the one.
The person who really got me into this. If I didn't have my mom, I wouldn't be able to do anything like that.
Amen. Amen. I love your attitude, little lady. I love your attitude. I see you have a hairstyle. We got a picture. Tony, would you show this one picture? There's the lady of the year. Who is that lady? That'd be you. That is you. It's a beautiful picture. When I saw it, I said, please put that picture up. A beautiful lady of the year. Anything else you want to tell us about what you've been doing or want to do?
I feel that I can do it.
Mm-hmm,
if I really try my best, that I think I will be able to get where I'm to.
We're going to get you back when you get, maybe a year or two. And please tell us of all the experiences that you've had in the next year or two. It's going to be wonderful. There's ups and downs in the business. I don't need to tell you that, but you know that. But it's a lot in the end. Because here's the question. When you first saw yourself up on the big screen, what did you think? What did you say?
I thought like, oh, this is really happening. Like, it's not just a dream anymore. It's actually coming true. What I want to do is finally, I'm able to do it now.
Lady Luck. I will see to it that I give a gift of a silver dollar to all of our guests. And I want to make sure that I get it to your publicist and make sure it gives it to you for good luck. We wish you good luck out there.
Thank
definitely, you. Definitely. Ameri, nice meeting you today. Wishing you the best as your career continues to grow and grow. It's going to do that. Special thanks to Jasmine Espada of Espada Public Relations. Always a pleasure working with that public relations group. Always a pleasure. They're the ones that made this possible today. Anything else you want to say before we leave here?
No.
Okay. Because you're going to be doing a lot of these interviews. Oh, you're going to be doing a bunch of these. Oh, my goodness. The more, the merrier. You'll meet a lot of people. God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandon Photography as an Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Live, The Way to Lose Weight, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actors Space. And much, much thanks to our guest today, actress, director, writer, Amy Lundon, ballet instructor, choreographer, Michael Milligan, and a new face of multicultural Ameri Faith. Of course, special thanks to our ever-growing worldwide audience. We love you. Thank you. We'll see you next time.